I'm Alan Colmes. We're talking with Congressman Luis Gutierrez. Now, you're the senior member of the Illinois delegation, so for the first time, you're not going to an inauguration. Why not, sir?
Look, this is very, very different. I never thought of a president of the United States as a threat to me, to my country, to my grandson, my daughters, to my wife, to all of the important people in my life, and to America. I just never. This one is different. I mean, think about it. I've got a wonderful, and your audience will understand this. Everybody that's a granddad or grandma out there, just look at your grandchildren. I have a beautiful grandson. He's 13 years old, 8th grade, Luis Andres. And Luis Andres' dad's from Mexico, and his mom, obviously, of Puerto Rican heritage. And I asked him, Luis, tell me, who are you? And he says, well, Grandpa, in my right hand, I'm Puerto Rican, and in my left, I'm Mexican. And then he took both of his hands, Alan, and put them on his heart. But right here, Grandpa, I'm 100% American. I have to defend that little boy's right to his patrimony, his right to live in America, free from being stigmatized as a murderer, a rapist, and a drug dealer. It's very, very difficult for me to unhear, right?
Yeah.
Forget the kinds of things that Donald Trump, I mean, even the Attorney General designate, Sessions, said it would be a crime to do what Donald Trump says he does to women. And 12 women came forward, a dozen women or so came forward, and what did he say? He said he's going to lock them up. Is that a registry for Muslim? I'm sorry, I cannot simply stand there and say I legitimize this as the new proper speech in America, that this is okay to say, that it's become the new normal.
Congressman,
so I'm not going to go.
Congressman John Lewis said today that Trump is not a legitimate president. Do you concur?
Here's what I have to say. If you use racism, if you use prejudice and bigotry and discrimination as the basis of your campaign, then there are those who are not going to find your election legitimate. It wasn't as though Donald Trump walked down his escalator and stairs at Trump Tower that day and said, by the way, America, vote for me because I'm going to make it great again and improve your schools and make sure that health care is excellent and make sure we reduce crime on your streets and that everybody get a house. And guess what? Your kids are going to go to college when I'm president of the United States. And I'm going to make sure people get a great, decent wage of $15 an hour minimum. It wasn't like he walked down. No, he walked down those stairs and he started using fear and discrimination and bigotry. He said, Mexicans are murderers, rapists, and drug dealers. And I'm going to stop them from coming to this country and I'm going to build a wall. A wall. Everybody knows that people come through JFK every day from around the world. People at LAX, Chicago O'Hare. How come he never speaks about those? Because he speaks about a wall to talk about brown people. Well, he can't eliminate brown people from the United States of America because, as your radio audience already knows, 75% of people with last names like Gutierrez in America are citizens. And when you're 18 or younger, 93% of people with last names like mine are citizens of the United States, and 1 million of them turn citizens every year, and we're going to organize them. So you know what I said? I told my wife, well, I don't feel like going. She, well, we're going, she said. So I said to me, we're going, honey, except we're going so that we can be prepared for the next day. And so I just got to tell you, Alan, I got like all the warmest clothes in the world here in my office. I brought them in preparation, and now they say it's going to be 55 degrees. But you know what? We're going to get here on Inauguration Day that evening. We're going to get ready, and we're going to march with women, because when women win, everybody wins. The disparity in wages between men and women, my own daughters and everybody else's daughters, you want them to get the same amount of money for the same talent and the same work and the same effort and the same sweat and toil as the boys get. So let's march with women that day, and let's say this is not normal, what he said. So I'm going to be a guy marching with 1 million women in great company.
How many Congress people are with you on this?
Well, I said this about a month ago, and apparently it wasn't that big a news a month ago when I first said I wasn't going to go in an interview. But as of late, wow, there's at least 6 or 7 others that have said they're not going either. And you know, and you know something, you know how they talk about that silent majority. I bet you there's a whole bunch just aren't saying much anything, but they're not going. You cannot allow this to simply become normalized speech and accepted speech in America that does not have consequences.
We're talking with Luis Gutierrez.
People say to me, I say, you know what? 3 million more people voted for the kinds of values and the kinds of vision of America that I represent in America. And I'm going to stand up for them on Inauguration Day.
So how do you fight Trump legislatively? They're already dismantling or trying to dismantle Obamacare. They took steps today with the reconciliation. What do you do? And they have nothing to replace it with, right?
Now, there are a lot of people, a lot of wonderful people, friends of mine. I bet you got friends out that decided, well, I'm voting for the third-party candidate. Now they see the real threat with Sessions going down there saying that Roe versus Wade is not legitimate. Now you've got him actually saying on the record, the next attorney general. You had a lot of African Americans that said, well, is it, do I really got to go out to vote? Maybe it's not that big a deal. And now they see the kinds of actions that Sessions wants to take as Attorney General of the United States and the kinds of past that he has. So all I'm saying to people in America, when he comes after the Muslims, we should all be Muslim that day and stand up for them.
Yeah.
And stand up for everybody that has a right to be in America. Because the diversity, I mean, maybe I got it wrong, but I thought the Pilgrims came here fleeing religious persecution, and in order to have a place where they could, believe in their God and express themselves religiously as that they did not have in the country they were born. So that's why they came to America. And I thought that's why we carve up that turkey, to celebrate religious freedom in the United States of America. It may be Muslims today. I don't know what it's going to be tomorrow. We got to stand up for everybody. And torture? Come on. This is the greatest country in the world. How can you be the greatest country in the world if you think it's okay to be tortured? So think about the slew of things that affected you, that repulsed you during the campaign. And I say, Donald Trump, you want me to stand and legitimize your presidency? You have to earn it. You have to earn it. You have to earn it through your actions. I'm not simply going to stand back and say, well, I'm going to hope for the best. Yeah, I'll hope for the best. Guess what? I'm going to prepare for the worst. And let me just say, in terms of my own, tomorrow I'm going to a rally. There's going to be rallies across this country of immigrant groups. We're going to have one here in Washington, D.C. And here's what I'm going to tell the people at that rally. The people at that rally, I'm going to say, you want to know something? 1 million Latinos turn 18 every year. There's nothing Donald Trump can do about it. 1 million turn 18 every year. And those are only the ones that are citizens of the United States. Let's register them to vote. The 8 million permanent residents that are legally in this country who can become citizens today, we need to help them fill out the paperwork, get the English right, make sure they get the Constitution right, and prepare them for their new status as American citizens in this country, because they are under threat. We're all under threat. And let me just say, when women win, gay people win. When gay people win, $15 an hour becomes a reality in this country. When that wins, then the Mother Earth is respected by those climate deniers. So all I'm saying, immigrants, women, all come together with the labor. That's the greatest tradition in America. That's how you defeat Trump, by organizing. I like what Bernie Sanders is doing, but we need to have different areas of people organizing and developing. And let's see what happens in a couple of years.
Congressman, one more thing.
Elections.
Will they be successful overturning Obamacare?
I don't know how they do it, because they don't have anything to replace it with. I don't know. You know something? They're going to threaten 170,000 people in West Virginia? They're going to tell to 170,000 people in West Virginia, a state they won by 40 points or better. They're going to say, you're wiped out, you're not. Wait till people, you know what, Evan, there's a lot of people that don't know that when they go to the doctor, that when they get the screenings, that when their children are taken care of, the new hospitals and the new services that they've received, there's a lot of those 20 million that don't know it's Obamacare. Because I got to tell you, and this is a criticism we have to, we don't market ourselves very well. Donald Trump saves 500 jobs. That's all you hear about for the next 72 hours. Yeah. We saved Chrysler, GM, millions of jobs. And you know what? We did the legislation and we said, okay, America, we're going back to work on something the next day. Maybe we got to do a better job of telling people. Because you know what I've learned after 30 years in public service as an elected official? that when you do something good, a lot of people don't recognize it.
Yep.
You know, because you're just doing your job. But boy, take something away from people, and they notice that pretty quickly. So I said to myself, I hope they don't do it, because you know what? I got the greatest health care in the world. Guess who's under Obamacare? All 435 members of the House and the Senate are Obamacare ACA recipients. How do I know that? Because that was the law that we passed. In Obamacare, it says every member of Congress has to be a member. And guess what? I think my health care insurance is pretty good. And I'll put it up against, I wish everybody in America had the same thing that we have.
Yep.
But, you know, we got a Congress of the United States that in 1 month earns what a minimum wage earner earns in a year at $7.25 an hour. You do the math, Alan. We earn 12 times what a minimum wage, and we can't increase the minimum wage. So what I'm saying is, let the contradictions flow forward. Let people feel what it's like, this draining of the swamp, what that's like, and when they feel it, we're going to be there standing for them.
Congressman, thank you so much for your time tonight. Much appreciated.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Congressman Luis Gutierrez of Illinois, not attending the inauguration, thinks it's disrespectful to his family. Back in a moment at 877-4-ALAN.